So I talk a lot about writing dramatic narrative, writing stories with deep philosophical themes, deep character development, etc. But sometimes it's time to just have some fun and enjoy the ride. And so today we're looking at how to write the contained thriller. I'm going to look at the most important things to focus on and show some examples of great contained thrillers and why they work. Major spoilers ahead for Panic Room and 10 Cloverfield Lane. Let's begin. First, let's talk about setting. The setting is everything. In a contained story, the entire thriller will be based on the premise of the location. In 10 Cloverfield Lane, the story takes place in an underground bunker with no contact to the outside world. In Panic Room, the story takes place in a Manhattan home that has a special panic room. The setting for your contained thriller can be something smaller than a single room. In Buried, the entire story takes place inside a coffin. In Lock, the entire story takes place inside a car. This is your starting point. This is the hook of your story. Contained thrillers can be easy to pitch because they are immediately catchy and interesting. It's also usually cheaper to produce because you will not have to hunt down dozens of different locations or build dozens of sets. Once you have your setting, we can take a look at how you will build the conflict for your thriller. While inside the constraint of a single or very few locations, how do you keep conflict and tension high for a full feature-length film? It's important to understand the genre of your story when writing. Stories can have different purposes, and I mainly talk about writing dramatic narratives on this channel. Stories with strong philosophical conflict where characters must struggle with their beliefs and go through change. But contained thrillers are different. They are more like roller coaster rides full of tension and release. Thrillers are built upon this constant roller coaster of tension, and because of this, the structure becomes extremely important. Some stories can have a loose structure while they look at different themes, moral conflicts, and character change. Thrillers need tightly wound structure to keep the tension high. The structure of your thriller will be built upon 4 things: tension and release, progressive complications, information reveals, and clarity. First is tension and release. Your story will slowly and painfully build to a climactic moment, then release the tension, creating a new situation and a rebuild of tension to another breaking point. In Panic Room, robbers break into a home in Manhattan while Meg and her daughter Sarah are sleeping. When Meg realizes robbers have broken in, she takes Sarah and hides in the panic room. Later in the story, the robbers try to fill the panic room with propane gas to force the 2 women to open the door.
Oh, this is good. This could work.
This creates a massive problem. If they open the door, the robbers could potentially harm or even kill them. The tension is released when Meg ignites the gas, forcing the tank outside to explode and burn the robbers. In 10 Cloverfield Lane, Michelle wakes up in an underground bunker. A man named Howard tells her that there's been a massive attack on the US and that he saved her life. Michelle doesn't believe that Howard is telling the truth about the attack. She believes she has been kidnapped against her will. The tension builds until Michelle makes a run for the exit.
No! Hell no! No! Don't open that door!
And the tension is released when Michelle realizes the air is actually toxic and that Howard was telling the truth. There has been a massive attack. But you can't simply have tension and release. Each wave of tension and release must compound upon the one that came before. The stakes must continually increase until the final breaking point at the end of the story. This is what will keep the audience glued to your story and constantly worried about what will happen next. So how do you build this progressive conflict? Each cycle of tension and release should push your story into a new, more intense situation. And this is how you create progressive complications. If you're confused on how you can push your story to its next level of tension, divide your story into 4 main parts: Act 1, Act 2 Part 1, Act 2 Part 2, and Act 3. Then, within each of those sections, ask these questions. What does the character want? How do they try to get it? What do they have to sacrifice to get what they want? And how does their sacrifice change their situation and push them past a point of no return? When you think in this way, you can begin to build cycles of progressive complications that continually change your character's situation and force them to adapt. By forcing your characters to sacrifice, you create points of no return that change their situation. In Panic Room, Meg wants to stay in the panic room and wait the robbers out. And she gets what she wants. However, Sarah suffers a seizure. Meg must get the syringe for her daughter or Sarah will die. This is a point of no return because Meg's situation is fully changed and there is no going back. In 10 Cloverfield Lane, Michelle has finally gotten peace in the bunker. She believes Howard and everything has finally calmed down. But the air filtration system breaks. While repairing it, Michelle discovers that Howard had previously trapped another young woman in the bunker. This is a point of no return because now Michelle realizes that she is in grave danger. She must deal with this horrifying information and try to escape the bunker. Michelle's discovery brings us to my next point, the necessity of information reveals. Information reveals are important pieces of information that dramatically change the character's situation. While this exists in many films, it is extremely useful in a contained thriller, because it allows you to elevate personal conflicts without characters having to leave their contained setting. In Panic Room, Meg and Sarah try to wait out the 3 robbers who have broken into the home. However, it is revealed that what the robbers want is inside the panic room. This creates a problem. The robbers are here to stay. Later on, Junior, one of the robbers, accidentally reveals just how much money is in the panic room to his accomplices.
Wait a minute. Say what you just said again.
Say that shit about the money again, baby cakes.
This makes their desire to get inside much stronger, and Raul is fully willing to kill to get this money. And even later, it is revealed that Sarah is diabetic, meaning that she cannot stay in the panic room for an indefinite amount of time. If she doesn't get her injection, she could die. This means that Meg and Sarah can't simply wait out the robbers. They are going to have to open the door. In 10 Cloverfield Lane, when Michelle tries to escape the bunker, it is revealed that Howard is telling the truth. He did save Michelle's life, and Michelle's family is likely dead.
I know it's hard, realizing they're all gone. The ones you love.
But later on, it is also revealed that Howard trapped a girl down in the bunker before, which means that there is much more to him than previously believed, and Michelle is in grave danger.
He took her and he killed her.
These reveals create new situations for the characters without the characters needing to go to a new location or introduce any new characters. And these reveals can be used to progressively complicate the story and bring the characters into a new sequence of tension. The last thing I want to touch on is clarity in your conflict. While some types of stories may use ambiguity, thrillers need clarity to create immediate, real tension. The audience must never be confused about the problems your protagonist is facing. The audience's understanding of the problem and the consequences of the protagonist failing are important for the audience to be completely engaged with your main character. In Panic Room, the conflict is clear. The robbers want what's inside the panic room. Meg and Sarah fear they will be killed if they open the door to the panic room. That is basically the entire conflict of the film. In 10 Cloverfield Lane, Michelle wakes up in an underground bunker and wants to understand what's going on, if she is safe, and if she can trust the men around her. That is essentially the entire conflict of the film. These two stories keep everything simple. Keeping clarity and focus will help your thriller more than trying to add all sorts of extra elements that don't work with the logic of your story. Just because a story is simple doesn't mean it is easy to write. Writing a contained thriller can be difficult because of the limitations of setting and character. But it can be a good challenge, especially in your ability to build tension and create progressive complications in a story. Understand that the most important thing in a thriller will be creating that constant tension. Without that constant, clear tension, the audience's minds will wander away from your film. Writing a screenplay can be a difficult task. Many new writers struggle with writer's block and procrastination and never even finish a single script. And some writers get 20 or 30 pages into their screenplay and give up. If that's you, then I have a video for you to watch where I show you how you can write 5, 10, even 15 pages a day consistently and finally overcome your fear of writing. Click the first link in the description to watch it now. And if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching.